Well, I am ridiculously excited to have you on the podcast. Thank you so much for joining.
You're welcome.
Laura Wright, y'all, is a long-time colleague, friend, mentor, client. Yes, all of those things. She is a business coach, a sales ninja, and the most high vibe person you will ever meet in your entire life. Like, just to be around her virtually is like, will raise your freaking energy and vibration. It's just a fact. And then you go meet her in person at one of her retreats or mastermind meetings or groupings of clients and friends and colleagues, and being in her presence in person will just like take you through the roof. So I'm a Laura lifer. I hope that Laura is a Sarah lifer.
Time contracts, they go both ways.
Anyway, thank you so much for being here. I would love to hear a little bit, if there was anything I left out about what you do and who you are, feel free to throw it down.
Oh, Sarah, I'm just excited to be here. I love seeing other women, especially, thriving in this world. So you hit the nail on the head. I am high vibe. That's my natural state. I've had people around me at like 6 a.m. They're like, okay, you're always like this. So yeah, I mostly am. I am everything sales. I love being called a sales ninja. And just, my mission is really to help women step into that unshakable, unbreakable confidence when it comes to selling, and do it in a way that feels good and works, and that we make a lot of money, because I know all the women we're connected with and the ones that we're meant to reach, we want to make massive impact. And when really smart women make a lot of money, we flood it back out into our economies and we lift everyone else up. So that's my big mission. I know that matches your big mission. I know it matches almost everyone that we work with. So I'm excited for today.
That's amazing. Everything you just said is amazing, and why you are a rock star and why I love you so much.
Back at ya.
So welcome everybody to Conscious Conversion. I am so thrilled that you are listening, and I'm going to dive into our questions with Laura because I am excited to hear what she has to say. First off, what kind of impact do you want to make in the world over the next 5 years?
I love this. And it's funny because I've actually been really thinking about it. It's something that we've just changed, because traditionally the way that I love working with clients is deep impact small groups. And I've been doing this for years, and it has caused me to have a wonderful, thriving business, an amazing list of clients. And then I realized this thing happened where I'm not helping enough people at the pace that I want to. And every time I wanted to do little small ticket things that I could help more people, I would get stuck because it's not my passion. It's not what I teach. I teach high ticket, high touch, lots of intimate connection. And so one of my mentors asked me a question that made me change how I think. And the question was basically, how do I make $260,000 a month? And again, it was a change up because I'd been goaling for something for so long and it wasn't big enough. And that change reactivated something that I used to really dream about, which is, we call it the $75 million business. So years back, I had this very fun experience where I hosted a retreat, and then we all had lots to drink and all the fun things. And we jokingly gave me a hot seat after I give everyone else. And so I mapped out this $75 million business. And the thing that clicked over for me was not about the amount, but it suddenly became bigger than what I could hold myself, which would require me to bring on team to help and serve more people. So the long-winded answer to this is, my intention over the next 5 years is really to place myself into a space where I can put 100, 150 people into a container to work with me versus just my 8 or so. I realize that the pace that we all need to speed up healing the planet, helping women make more money, it can't happen for me 8 or 10 or 12 people a year anymore. It needs to be something more like 100, 1,000, many thousand people. So my goal is to change the way that my containers are working, draw in more, not just clients, but more team members to support helping those people, and still give it at a high touch, high ticket way. And that I'm really excited about.
I love it. I mean, our missions are so beautifully aligned. I can't stand it. And I feel that way about all my clients and, you know, obviously my mentor. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And all y'all, if you hear background noise, it's because Costa Rica is where I currently am based, and it is a character in this ongoing saga of the podcast and my life. So there's always going to be either monkeys or saws or construction.
It's amazing. And what I love actually, so what you may or may not know if you're just new to this podcast and learning about Sarah is a walk her walk, walk her talk kind of gal. And so for her to pick up and go be not just location independent, but you are living in paradise, your version of paradise, and you are choosing a way to traditionally serve clients and build and expand and give this great life to you and your child. Like, you are actively doing it. So I welcome all the sounds that come along, because you are showing the world that you can chart your own path and go get it.
Thank you, Laura. So I know that I resonate with you hardcore and always have, but what kind of people do you feel like resonate with you the most?
Yeah. Okay. So ambitious, driven women who are super connected. And what I mean by that is, some people like to use that term heart-centered, but I think all of my gals, you're real live human beings. I like to always say all my people are family focused. It doesn't mean that they all have children, but the concept of family and connection is really important, because some of my core values are loyalty, love. Like, I become like the ferocious mama bear when anybody's like attacking my gals. I'm like 5'1" and I'm ready to fight. But I know that my people, a lot of people come to me like this and they say, and it's funny because as a sales coach and a business mentor, I help women with sales, and they come to me and they're like, I'm great at sales already, Laura. I'm like, fantastic. We're going to take it even higher. My people do not want to just make a little bit or just carve out a life. They want an epic experience. They want to pick up, pack up, and go to Costa Rica. And for some of them, that version actually is being at home and retiring their husbands and living a very, like, what people might see straight and narrow. But the passion part about what they want to build, my gals are building empires.
I love it. World transformation. So
pretty much.
Clearly what you're doing is working, and for a long time. Your organic reach is growing. Like, even independent of ads, before you started running ads, you were rocking organically. How do you stay consistent?
Oh my God. So I love that you've asked this question, because if you guys know anything about me, I do a lot of stuff with Kolbe and human design. I love Kolbe, and it helps you understand who you are and who you
And
be.
that's Kolbe, if y'all don't know it.
Yes. Kolbe assessment A, run, do not walk, help yourself understand yourself. So that's really the answer is, I know myself. And one of the things I am is a system breaking quick start, which means I take action really fast. I do step one, and then I'm running on to the next thing, which can be disastrous if you're trying to be consistent. And the good thing is, I know who I am, so I don't try to do stuff that doesn't match for me. So here's what that looks like for me to be consistent. Number one, for years, what I committed to was every month I would do a marketing moment. And what I mean by that is, I would either host a masterclass, do a challenge, put a PDF out. I would do something, but I let myself have the freedom to choose it the month before. So that kept me out of being, every third Thursday. Because if I had a routine I had to hit, I will break it. So I gave myself permission to choose a little bit, but I committed to the consistency of once a month to do something. And that just gave me freedom. The other thing that I did, I think that was a game changer, is I have hired a team around me that knows me. And so they understand that, great example, one of our beloved friends, mentors, coworker, all the words that we have, Tamika, does all of my marketing stuff. And she tricked me into having a photo shoot. And that's what a lot of my team does. And I jokingly say tricked me, but she knew I wanted to do some videos. So she set it up so that I would go do the thing I wanted. Oh, and P.S., here's this little extra thing. And so my whole team around me does that. They help me stay on track I stay excited about the passion, and then they fulfill all the little minutia. But also what I'm able to do is I make short-term commitments that let me be consistent. Again, it just goes back to that I'll commit to doing something for a week or for a month and go do that. And then I reevaluate it and choose another thing to do. But the consistency piece is I'm always in a do, be, or show who I am.
Brilliant. You know, and you just answered my next question, but just in case you've got more richness to add, how do you stay authentic as you start to grow and bring in help?
Oh my God, this is such a good question. And I love it for today because literally yesterday I reactivated something. So it's challenging. I have to honestly say, every entrepreneur out there, my heart goes to you because I've been on this roller coaster. I've had experiences inside my business where I'm just kind of like just chugging along because I don't have that fire in me. And usually I have the fire in me. So one of the things I think is really important is return to self and self-direct. I find any time that I get off track, it's because I'm like, here, Sarah, make all my Facebook ads happen. Good luck. Hope it works for you. And if I do something like that, I just took my energy out and I know conversions start to not work and I'm not participating. So one of the things I like to do is really stay self-guided and still put my energy into things, even when I have a team doing stuff. So for instance, we're doing a really big, cool thing in this next 30 days where I'm going to be participating in my live group. And what I realized was I had set up all these systems for my amazing team. We did all these videos, they've got all these emails, they're doing all the things. Sarah, you're doing all the ads. Everything's actually working, but I realized I wasn't. And it's not about hustling or doing. It just meant that my extra little magic of my energy wasn't in it. So I'm reclaiming that, and that juices me back up. But the other thing I do really importantly is when I pick long-term things that I'm doing, I maintain them even if I'm not feeling in it, so that I watch and wait and get myself to a feeling it place, and then I insert myself again. Because I think what happens is most people wait for the inspiration and the feel good to keep going. And I make sure that I've got structures in place. So even if I'm not feeling it, my business keeps going. But every time I do feel it, I get myself in the game.
That is brilliant. I mean, it's a brilliant strategy, and it's also really good advice for people. I mean, so surrounding yourself with a team who gets you so much that when you're like, I cannot get out of bed today, I'm pissed, or life is not going well for me, or I'm just not inspired. You have a team that's like, don't worry, I'm inspired enough for both of us.
Yep.
And I will take over from here until you come back. Don't take too long.
But literally, and I have to say this too, because I sense that people who are coming and listening to this podcast, you're pretty advanced in your business. You have teams, but I want you to hear, I have always had a version of a team, even if it was just one person just doing a little help to me. From the moment I started a business, not even this business, but my very first business, I got a mentor, I think less than a month into doing it, because so like my original team was me and my mentor and like my husband helping me out, like keeping me, like my emotions going and everything. And then I brought on a little VA to start doing a little bit of help. And then I expanded and kept going. So just know wherever you are in your journey, you do have support, and make sure you ask for it. Brilliant.
So when you were putting all of your focus on reaching people organically, before you started doing paid ads years ago, what was working about that? Like how did that go for you?
Yeah. So what worked really well, and what I understand is when I gather people up, I know I'm a human design, I'm a manifester, and Colby, I'm a system breaking quick start, but that quick start activator energy. I know when I gather people up, I get them in motion. And so I need to go give them something to do with that motion. So all the organic stuff that I did some things like master classes, or I hate using the word webinar, so I use master classes. P.S. I never use slides. I did it once and I hated it so bad, so I don't do it anymore. Some people love slides and you should use them. That's the other key I want you to hear. Like what worked for me worked for me. And I think that's what I really did was I would try a challenge, and if a 5-day challenge felt good, I might do another one. If I would do a masterclass and it felt flat, I wouldn't do one for a little while. So what worked really well for me was being able to draw people to me, give them some nuggets and information, but really give them assignments to do. They would go off and do them and then come back and work with me. And I think what's also really important is I have a fundamental belief, because of what I do with sales, is when you gather people, for the love of God, please, 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 please make an offer to them. So again, what worked for me was every time I would gather people up, I would give an invitation. I would say, let's get on a sales call, here, buy this course, here, do this thing. Because if you gather people up and then and you activate them and then you don't give them something to do with you, you won't have sales. I mean, it's a really like simple thing to hear, but I see so many people do like all the work to market and they get up to the edge and then they don't say, and now here's how you can make the purchase. And that's what I did. There's also one other little thing. And this is one of my like secret sauce things I do with all of my clients. I didn't expect any of my marketing to work. Now, that doesn't mean I didn't set it up to be effective and work. What it meant was it was almost icing on the cake. As I was doing all of my marketing, I am watching for the amazing woman who's out there watching every single one of my videos, but she never clicks to buy. And I'll reach out to her and invite her to a call. I always have a pool of people around me who I know are ready and wanting to come work with me, but they don't, who here is great at asking for help? Very few people. So what I like to do is be the one to reach out to them, and doing that organic connection of me being physical, being seen, doing marketing, and balancing it with me not waiting for someone to click to buy, but me actively reaching out and nurturing people and bringing them along to be in a purchase space. That's why things work so well.
I mean, this brings us to like one of your mottos, which is sales is love. And it's so true. We all, especially like as women, we have a tendency to shy away from sales. And maybe that's why people try to jump into paid advertising before they've got that organic piece. It's so important to have that organic piece first. Because we're like, we want somebody else to make the ask because we're so scared to do it ourselves. And it's so, so critical. But to reframe, what is sales? Sales is just nurturing. It's love. Mm-hmm. It's empathy. Mm-hmm. So
it's being supportive.
You exemplify that beautifully. Yeah.
That's what I want. And I wanted to show everyone how to do that because it makes life easier. I don't do coercion sales. I know how to do them. That's how I was classically trained. And I don't do it anymore. It's not helpful to that person. It's not helpful to me. I also do actions without like agenda to it, if that makes sense. So like if I'm doing a marketing moment, my intent is I'm going to go help a bunch of people. I'm also going to nurture a bunch of people, and some people are going to buy from me. And it may be that, Tina shows up on a live and she asks 27 questions and she doesn't buy, but Jen, who's watching, who's never participated, she and I get on a call and she buys. I'm really detached from who needs to be helped. I just know that I need to show up all the time that matches for me and be visible, be seen, be giving great support and insight, and make the ask. And when I do that, it is kind, it is loving, it is guiding someone to decision and to changing their life. And that's what sales is.
Well, I know when we got on our first call for you to be my mentor, it wasn't even a sales call. I basically got on the phone and was like, when do I give you my credit card? Anyway, so you were kicking ass organically before you even got into ads. So what got you interested in paid ads in the first place?
I love this story. So the funny thing is, I was actually not anti-Facebook ads, but I was like, it works for everybody else. And I remember I had kind of gotten myself off track. Remember when you said that whole like, do the ads and just make it work for me and I don't have to do it. I was in a space where I was kind of run down in my business. I was feeling a little tired, and I watched some of my clients get some amazing results doing Facebook ads. And I was like, if they're doing it, I should do it. And so I jumped in head first, spent a bunch of money on a bunch of ads, and I was misaligned and they didn't work. And so then I was like, see, I proved it. Facebook ads don't work. And then I grew. And what I realized was when you work with someone like Sarah, what is the purpose of Facebook ads? And for us, we know really importantly within my business, I don't do straight click to buy. What my world does is nurture. And so Resonate with Sarah matched so well because what I clicked over was, I was like, well, wait a minute. What are the things that are working? Organic outreach, being present, being in front of people, connecting, giving people reasons to raise their hands. And the moment I realized the stuff that I was doing, Facebook ads just amplified, as opposed to looking at Facebook ads and thinking of them as something outside and separate. So I did what you advise all of your clients to do. I mastered the thing that I was selling. I knew people were going to buy it over and over and over. So Facebook ads just amplified how many more people could see it and how many more times they could connect with me. And that has been like that game changer that let me know it would start to work. And guess what? It's working like gangbusters. It's also, we don't do pressure Facebook. I know it's like one of the best things. It's like one of those happy stories, but we don't do pressure Facebook ads. You're not going to see 27 things from me to go buy. What you're going to naturally see is a little post where I asked a question, and you see another little video. And I keep getting on calls with people that are like, I feel like I see you everywhere, Laura. And I'm like, you do. It's called retargeting. And it's just that gentle connection as opposed to a force and a push. And the moment I changed my attitude about the Facebook ads and how we use them, the way that they work is just magnificent.
It's like you just answered like my next 3 questions beautifully without even me having to answer them. That's awesome. I always say though, I can't start the fire. I can pour fuel on the fire. And so like you create the most beautiful fire of love. And this is a fire of love, not destruction. You create the most beautiful fire of love for me to amplify. So I'm so grateful for that. So what's the next level? How do you plan to reach and impact more people, people?
Yeah, I love that. I love that you asked this question. So the next level thing that we've figured out inside of my business is, again, that shift from 8 people into a group to 100 people in a group. And the 100 is kind of like a little mythical number, but it's the idea of me transforming. So for next level, what we've done behind the scenes is I'm never been a huge fan of automation, but I'll tell you a little secret of how I build courses, because these two things kind of go together. What I find is when you're working with your clients and you get to a point where you realize you're saying the same thing to people over and over and over again, or you gather up people and you see they all have a similar struggle at the same time, what I've learned is I can take some of those things and put them into trainings so that I don't actually have to teach them, but I can point someone to go to the training. So the big next level thing that we've done is we've created some trainings inside of one of my courses. We have really landed on a front door way of working with me that everyone, no matter where you are inside of your business, it's the first thing I do with all of my clients. And this way now, everyone can kind of come in and I can nurture them, love them, and get them to their next level. And we're focused on bringing that out in a way where I can actually put hundreds of people, if not thousands in, but they're going to get the experience the way my gals do, who are in a group of like 17. And that's, I think, the game changer shift, because when people get into a group and they feel like they're not seen and heard, they fall by the wayside. And that's what happens with a lot of courses, why you see those like 94% of people don't get results in courses. So what I wanted to do was keep a high ticket, high vibe container that still feels like high touch and is high touch, but we're just going to leverage some training so more people can be in it and get that goodness. And so the next level for me is to turn up our dial, like really change things in how we're bringing people to us. My close rate is pretty darn fantastic, and it's what I teach people. And what I realize is I actually can't close everyone I need to on a phone call if I want to put 100 people in. So long story short, but only long story because that's all I do. What I created was I created a scenario where I have to change what I'm doing in my business to reach the new level. So anytime I want next level, I create something that is amplifying what I've already done or is new in a way that makes me have to change. And so we're doing a little bit of click to buy. We're going to nurture people a little differently, and it feels really, really amazing.
Yeah. And one thing that you master beautifully too is that anytime you do show up on a call or whenever you are making offerings, everything feels like it's customized. It feels like it's made just for you, or just for the potential client. Like it's hardcore resonating with your audience. And if we had more time, I would want to know, how the heck do you do that? How do you create offers?
I have a plan for that.
How do you create offers that truly resonate with your audience? And then, as things shift, how do you continue to do that? And so maybe you can talk a little bit about that and then segue into how can people find out more about you?
Yes. Okay. So I freaking love it. So I think what's really important is to understand your ideal client, understand the way they actually talk about their struggles, actually understand what their visions are. And what I do is I have always 3 ways of working with me and 3 levels. And really it's me guiding a person on a journey. I like to say that when you're working with entrepreneurs, especially, or any audience, I like use my arm to do this. There's people who are aspiring to do something, someone who are in the midst of doing it, and people who have actually mastered it. So I am always talking to the people who are wanting to master it. And I make sure I have programs for people who are aspiring so we can teach them more about how to do it. I have people who are in the midst, and then I have my programs for mastering. And so being able to meet somebody wherever they are on their journey, this way I don't have 3 different ideal clients. I have one amazing ideal client. I just meet her on her journey, and she either comes to me ready to do something, or I can support her in growing up into her next level.
You did that for me.
I did. And so like what happens, a lot of people, they think, like if I were to look at like my ideal client base, we actually were trying to build one of my programs, and we looked at this one amazing client and we're like, okay, we need to audience target to her. And I'm like, wait, she came to me almost 3 years ago over here. If I just target to her, am I actually really getting her? And so what I want you to see is you're not targeting 3 different people. It's the same woman on her journey of where she wants to go. Oh my God.
And the lesson there also is that to sell super high ticket offers, you need to be patient and understand that people are with you on a journey. And I love that you know that, and that makes my job so much easier. So how do you, this is the final shebang. No, actually, you haven't told us how we can connect with you first. Let's do that first. And then I'm going to ask you our final question.
Okay.
How can people find you?
Absolutely. Come hang out with me on Facebook. It is Epic at Sales. And I hang out in my Facebook group, which is the Epic Income Rise. I have so many things that I call. When you get there, you're going to want to just dive in. We've got lots of things that are always happening. Videos come up. I do all my trainings when I do them inside this group. And actually, I'm there to answer and ask questions. I also have a really cool book that you can find, which is www.nowomandown.com. And that's womandown.com, which is a fun story. My son titled our book, but you'll learn all about that when you read it. My whole goal is really just to connect and give you some insights for success and selling and help you make some more money so you can do the things you desire. That's how to reach me.
Making dreams come true.
I try. What's your final question? I'm so excited to hear this.
How do you maintain your focus so that you're not spreading yourself too thin?
This is such a good question. So it goes back to the who I surround myself with. My number one, I know myself. I know my human design. This is something that doesn't change. I know my Colby. This does not change. And I have 2 groups of people really around me. I have my husband and my friends who like know Laura the person. And I have my team who know Laura the person, but also Laura the businesswoman. And I do a ton of check-ins. So like, for example, I decided I wanted to do this live event and I got excited about it. I told my team and they're like, great, let's do it, let's go. And then my husband says to me, he's like, I've been waiting for you to come to me and tell me you don't want to actually do this because do you remember? And then all of a sudden he wasn't telling me don't do it, but he was reminding me why I had made a choice not to do it. And it made me just reevaluate. And when I looked at it, I realized I was deciding for something that I didn't actually want. I thought I had to do it. And so when I reevaluated, I realized what I wanted and it helped me like redefine a few things. And then when I went to my team, they're like, well, Laura, you were so excited about it. You sold it so well to us. We thought you wanted to do it. And I was like, oh shit. But that's what I want you guys to hear is that I have trusted advisors around me. So like if my team knows like Friday, I need to take the day off and they're like, you should, if you rest, you will feel better and you will do more. So I think the biggest thing is know yourself. Like Colby and human design just are my 2 favorites, but use any assessments you like, understand who you are so you can feel if your energy is flagging or if you feel excited. And then surround yourself by trusted advisors who you can take brand new baby ideas to and say, what do you think? And they won't slap them down. They know who you are and they can help you nurture and grow something. Or if you are out of alignment, they can help you see it in a way that can get you back to center.
I love that. Thank you. And I aim to be that for you
You are. It's wonderful because I will say this. This is something that must be said and heard. So when Sarah and I were working together right at the beginning, we were doing a lot of like try things out and figure things out. Number one, I know in Facebook land and anything, you try a few things until something works. And I remember feeling like something was off. And so I reached out to our shared team member, Tamika, and I said, something's off. And she goes, oh, I know. Sarah figured something was off the other day and she shut something down. We just knew we were going to talk to you the next day and we're going to figure out this and we have some ideas. And so what I love is that, Sarah, you don't just tune in with your eyes and your brain and your knowledge. You listen to your gut and to your instinct. And what I find is you are always that little step ahead. Or if I give input, we can edit and evolve, because really everything we do in business, it's not a straight line path. Everything is circular, and you are able to help pull my pieces together and keep us moving forward. And I'm so grateful for you.
Oh, I'm grateful for you too. Thank you for saying all that. I love you. Thank you.
I love you.
All right, y'all. It was my honor to introduce to y'all Laura Wright, and check out the show notes to see how you can get in touch with her. And thank you all for listening. Have a beautiful day.